Hey, it's Dell Jackson. Around the Adams York League. I think I got it wrong. I did York Adams. It's kind of the way it is. But we have Coach Mike Grassel here from D Town, and he's going to talk to us about his week. He's going to talk to us about a little bit around that league, which we say is on the other side of the river. You know, the LO guys. I got Andy Herr here. Andy's he's really in contact with Coach Grassel, and we'll go from there. How you doing, Coach Grassel?
I'm doing well, Dell. How are you?
Good, buddy. Good. A lot of football on today. A lot of basketball the last couple of days. You know, at least we can watch some other teams suffer. You know what I'm saying? There was some suffering coaches in the NFL today. I know that. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing wonderful.
All
Another
right.
week down, another week to go.
Hey,
So
I like the swag, dude. It's good stuff.
yeah, well that's all you. That's all you with your connections. So
And Mr.
thank yourself.
And Mr. Spooky Nook. We
And Mr.
appreciate
Spooky
that.
Nook, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, Andy, I'll let you go with Coach Grassel, and I'll hop on a little bit later on.
Okay. All right. So Coach, I know we we talked on Friday. You had a little bit of an eventful week. So tell us what is going on with Dallastown this past week, because it was certainly eventful.
Yeah, eventful is a good word for it. We faced probably two of the top teams in York Adams. Probably they'll be there in District 3, you know, when all's said and done. And had two battles, probably two of the top 10 games I've been involved with in coaching in 17 years. On Tuesday, we lost a close one to York High. Lost in overtime. We hit a bucket to go up. They tied the game with about 20 seconds left. We scored. They came down the court and tied it up with about 2 seconds left. And then in overtime, it was back and forth. They are very talented. They have 5 really good players. David Linder is really good. He's only a sophomore. He's about 6'2", 6'3". He had a great game for them. They have some other guys as well. And then on Friday, we faced Central York, who talent-wise, I think they have 4 college basketball players in their starting lineup, between Greg Geidinger, Ben Rill, who's 6'8", who was just at Westtown, Ben Natal, who's a sophomore guard for them, and Dotson, Ethan Dotson, who's going to play Division III and make somebody a really, really happy coach. We dug ourselves a 19-point hole, fought back, tied it up, went to overtime, tied it up, went to double overtime. We hit a shot with, about 10 seconds left, 12 seconds left to go up 1. And Central York, we hit a 3. DJ Smith, one of our studs, he had 28 points, 7 assists. He hit a 3 from the corner, and we went up 1, and Central came down. Dotson drove, found the 6'8" guy, Ben Rill, who had 35 on the night, I believe. And they won. It was a great game. Great game, but unfortunately on the wrong side of both of those.
How do you, like, I guess, is every team different in the sense that, like, do they, I mean, obviously you're hurt, right? I get that after you come all the way back and you fall just short, but is every team in your experience different, or are they all the same to where a team kind of like, they understandably, and it's human nature, maybe they don't have the gas to get up and, want to play like right away. They kind of want to sort of commiserate in it, but then also some teams might want to have that hunger to go, like, let's just play right now. Like, let's go back out of the locker room and let's play again. Like, what is this team for you? What's their approach with that? Because like we talked about before we went on air, there's another opportunity coming, but is that something that you kind of have to, like, I don't know, again, commiserate with, or how do you guys approach that? I guess
they were hurt, and the feel in the locker room was a good one, especially Friday against Central, as far as like they expected to win that game. I don't know how many people outside of us expected us to win that game, but our guys did, which makes me happy. We have a unique mix. I told you Central York has 4 college basketball players on the roster. We have a little bit of everything. We got baseball guys. We get Connor Bartos going to Shippensburg to pitch. But they're competitors nonetheless. Kenny Johnson did a great job on guiding her. I think he held him to 8 points. He's going to Pitt to play football. So I think all of their experiences in athletics, they were hungry. We gave them off yesterday and we practiced tonight. And they were hungry. We had a good practice tonight. And I said, it's over, it's done with. I told them if they wanted to feel bad for themselves, they had about 24 hours. And, we were in here tonight, and every team is different. Honestly, when you look at the schedule and you're working practices and when you're going to play your next game, and like, if we played Saturday, do I think they would have, been on point? I hope so, but yeah, it's human nature, like you said, to feel bad for yourself, at least for a little bit. And I said tonight we have to use it as motivation. I mean, they're 2 good basketball teams. Let's take the positive things. Let's learn from the negative. And nobody ever came through anything without handling a little adversity. We weren't going to go 22-0. It wasn't going to happen. So.
Yeah, no, that's there's 2 coaches on here and just me. So, I mean, I'll let you guys know what that feeling's like. I mean, much better than I do. I mean, for us as players, it was like, yeah, I mean, the good news though, from what you just said, is the kids care, right? And I mean, that's half the battle. You could get a group that is just, I mean, it's one thing for you because it's Central York, but like even if it was a nameless, faceless opponent, like it can go the other way to kind of where it's like, well, shoot, it's there's another opportunity coming, but oh shucks, but it's good that the kids care. So anyway,
there's no moral victories, but they showed some moxie being down 19 and being in the position we were in at the end of the game, with a shot that put us up. So, I mean, there's positives to take from it. And yeah, if they're not hungry, and again, we have red line on Tuesday, so it's not like, we have another backyard brawl, on Tuesday, and they have beat us 4 times in a row. So we can't overlook them. We have to go into that game, with the same heart and intensity that we played I'll say the second half. We had a good first quarter, second quarter, not so much. But about halfway through the third quarter, I thought our team showed up. So,
yeah. Well, no, that's good. And I charge by the hour, so you'll get your therapy bill in the mail. I'll make sure I send that to you. So,
thank you.
All right, I'll hand it back over to Dell right now.
All right. Hey, seriously, it's always good to have somebody to talk to from the outside, I think. I mean, sometimes we kind of get caught up in things, and sometimes it's good to run some things by somebody else, or just state your feelings. You know what I mean? Everybody in your program knows how you're feeling after that game, but it's like, okay, this is what happened. I can't believe it. What, da 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 da. And one of the things that people don't understand, I don't think, is that how difficult the moments are. And how emotional it is for teams to rebound, for coaches to rebound. I can tell you guys, I had a phone call last night, or not a phone call. I had an email at 4:10 a.m. from a coach. So that coach was either used to getting up very early or had a very, very, very sleepless night. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say who the coach was, but I know it's a little rough. So, hey, Coach, you talked on this a little bit. You talked about what's next this week for you guys, and then maybe give us a little, what you're planning for the holiday tournaments.
Yeah, for Dallastown this week, we have Red Line on Tuesday. A good basketball team just hung around with Cumberland Valley, lost to Cumberland Valley by 4, I think, on Saturday. And then we play Southwestern at home on Friday night. So we have 2 division games. And then we're going to Andy's neck of the woods, 27th and 28th. We're playing in Warwick's holiday tournament. We already put Andy said something during one of the interviews, talking to Coach Christensen about, they haven't won that tournament in a while. So we put that up on the bulletin board. So thanks, Andy, for that.
2007 is the year. That's the year.
I love that.
They're really good. I mean, I just watched them when I was home with nothing to do the other night, Thursday night, that win they had against Wilson was a really nice win. But that's Dallas Town for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
What did you let me jump in real quick because we were texting while I was there at Warwick. I don't know how much you know of Warwick the last couple of years, Coach, over, with your own travels, but like for them, it's different this year where it's truly a collective unit. There is no like, oh my goodness, stop the presses. They have like this one-man show anymore. For a coach, how is that? Is it better to have to game plan to cut off a head of a snake that can roll out of bed and score 15? Or is it better to scout a team where a kid averages 14, 12, 8, 7, 9? Like, how does that work for you? What's your preference, I guess?
It depends on the team. I mean, we've had some guys that could just face guard and take away one guy, So for me, if you have one stud, we can game plan for that, and we're going to make somebody else beat us. Having 5, 6, 7 guys, I mean, Work might have like 10 that can come in and put up 15, any given night. And I mean, the one thing they'll all do, they'll all shoot the 3, which I know you love, Andy. Yeah, I mean, they're bombing the 3. That's very, very difficult to defend. So, and again, with our own team, like we're kind of that way this year. We have 4 guys averaging double figures. But in the past, I mean, 2 years ago, we had the player of the year in Michael Dixon, who's now at Mansfield. Then again, it's nice to have one of those guys that at the end of the game, you say, here you go, take over. And so, I mean, it's a catch-22 because if you're that guy, like you can only usually hold down those guys for so long before, they find a way to make something happen.
Nice. Hey, I know Andy goes to different games and sometimes we kind of get back and forth to each other the day before, but I'm thinking if you bring him a T-shirt, maybe he'll cover your game at Warwick. I don't know. It's a possibility. Sometimes
I already have one.
But that's all right.
We got new ones this year. You see the new logo.
Yeah. You got new ones. He's got new ones, just like we do. So anyway, I know that the holiday is a busy time for us, and we do try to get out. So let's talk about other teams that are doing well in York that maybe you don't even play, that we don't. Again, in our area, the LL, we concentrate on LL, obviously,
right.
But there's some teams. I looked at, Coach, I know you and I talked last week about district standings or district points. I looked on it today, and I think not all the teams called in. I looked at Steelton, and they were 0-0 or something like that. I'm pretty sure they played some games, but maybe not because they were playing in the state championship game. So they probably canceled some, postponed some games. I don't want to get Jeff Duez all mad at me because I used the postponed or canceled wrong. I mean, he'll be firing me up on the Twitter like left and right. So what's going on in that side of the river? I'm going to say that side of the river. What's going on with good teams over there?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a few teams from each division. Obviously, we talked about Central York and York High. They're good, and Central will be on the other side of the river. They're in the Henfield Holiday Tournament, I'm pretty sure. I don't know who they face off against, but I know I know it's not Henfield or E-Town. So whoever the
Wilson's over there. Wilson's over there.
So they'll get Wilson.
That'd be good. That should be good.
Yeah. York High is crossing the river. I think they're in McCaskey's
yes.
holiday tournament. So both of those teams are really good. Division two has 2 unbeatens right now, Eastern York, and West York. West York, had some guys graduate, but kind of what you were saying about just having 5 guys that able to put in 10, 15 on any given night. So West York's off to a hot start. And then I dropped our guy. Susquehannock just lost to West York, but they were 4-0 before that. So Susquehannock is another team to look out for there in Division 2. Division 3, York Tech is off to a 2-0 start.
Saw that. That's
York-
surprising. That's
York
good.
Tech.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. I
that's
like
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
Littlestown is off to a 2-0 start, and I'll name drop York Catholic and DeLone. And I'll be honest, I don't know what type of start those guys are off to. But I know York Catholic won a close one against Lancaster Catholic to start the season. And DeLone just beat Southwestern on Saturday night. So I believe DeLone is off to a good start. I lied when we talked about the district rankings before we came on here. I looked at them, and if you took a screenshot of that today, and you took a screenshot of that in just 2-3 weeks, I feel like that all could be on its head, because the non-league scheduling, how people schedule non-league. We've had one non-league. Some teams have 5-6 games in. It'll be interesting. And then, we'll have the 3-game weeks and they'll have just 2. But those are some teams in York County that are off to some hot starts here. And I think we'll know a little more in 2 weeks, after some of these holiday tournaments, and even just seeing guys go up against people in their section, because you can kind of cherry pick, especially if you have your own tip off, you pick who you play. And, if you have some non-leagues, you get off to a good start. But once you start playing some common size and ability opponents, I think over the next 2 weeks, I think middle of January, you kind of have a pretty good understanding of who everybody is.
Yeah, that was going to lead me to a coaching question. So after the holidays, how many games will you have in going into January?
We will have 7. So that means we'll have
1/3.
Yeah.
More or less. One.
We'll have 15 games to get in about, I think it's 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you guys play a lot of 3 games?
We will in January.
Okay.
I think we start out of the gate, like we go like Wednesday, Friday, Saturday with McCaskey, Spring Grove, Penn Manor. So 3 games in 4 days.
Are a lot of your three games, are they the non-league pickups that you get on Saturday, or is that just how your league scheduled? Because we don't over here, very seldom do we have 3 league games in a week unless there's snow out.
I think we have 1 league 3-game week. That's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the other one's actually the only Saturday game we play this year, unless there's a snow out, is Penn Manor on January 7th. Aside from that, and honestly, that was a me thing. Wanted to get to my kids' stuff on the weekends and have weekends be, more devoted to family as opposed to running all around, God's green earth, Now, do I find basketball games? Sure.
Oh yeah.
Do I live stream? Yep. But at least I'm in my living room or down in my basement. So,
Andy, what else you got, buddy?
I just had a question, I guess. One of the teams actually you didn't touch on. Dell and I saw McCaskey yesterday, and I think we came away pretty impressed by what we saw. I mean, they can fill it up if they're hot. What do we make out of them beating Northeastern at the buzzer on Wednesday? Is that surprising? I mean, that's kind of the game that got McCaskey started on their little hot streak here.
Northeastern is, first of all, any win at Northeastern's gym is a good win. Because I think their gym's worth about 7 to 8 points. And Coach Eister does a really good job over there. They graduated one of their best players, but just watching scores, and I have a little film on them. They're kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, as far as like they lost a really, really close one. They had LS on the ropes. And as far as I'm concerned, LS, I think, is one of the top teams in 5A. I mean, that game they had against Henfield was an eye opener for everybody. And they beat Township on the road in a close one. And so, I mean, I think Northeastern's, they're always well coached. They're solid. So that, and again, they had a big lead in that game. I think they jumped on McCaskey, and then McCaskey came storming back in the fourth quarter. So momentum is real. I would guess, McCaskey kind of used that, to help with their last two wins on Friday and Saturday. But I mean, the talent's there. Northeastern has a nice big guy. I don't know. I think they only had one league game so far, so they might be unbeaten as well. I know they beat Southwestern on Friday. So they'll be solid. They're always well coached. Now, I know Coach Eister does nothing over the holidays. They'll practice, but they don't play. So I think they have 8 games in. I think they're at 4-4. But they'll have a little bit of a break until the new year, and then they'll, finish out their last 14 games or whatever they have left.
That's the Matt Johns scheduling program where you get 27 games in right away. And then, like he said the other night at E-Town, then we're going to have our practices later on. Everyone else is going to be playing. We're going to be practicing. So that's funny.
That's probably why they get good at the end of the year, Andy.
You think? You think?
I think it had something to do with it. I don't know. As a head coach, I was tired of practicing at the end of the year. I'm like, let's have some snow outs. Let's get some games in. It's like the kids are tired of me, but it's all good. Hey, Coach.
Yeah, our kids just want to play. I mean, we're probably to the point where we keep practices short and sweet, but we had a week between our first game against E-Town and these games this week. So they're happy to be on the games now on the game schedule where they're getting at least 2 games in every week.
Hey, thanks, Coach. We're going to end the recording. Thank you, Andy.
Yep.
Maybe we'll pick it up after the holiday tournament, Coach. After everything's kind of settled and you played a couple games, and like you said, you'll know a little bit more, at least on your side of the river. Not everybody's played each other. I always thought once we get through the first half, then you pretty well. You don't know, but who's good. We can figure it out then. So Merry Christmas. If we don't talk to you before then, thank you, Coach. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas, guys.
You got it. Thank you.